Good day, this is Dr. Bae, Assistant Director of Digital Health Device Division at MFDS. Today, I'm going to give you a regulatory approach to digital health product of MFDS. This is the table of contents for my presentations. First of all, I'm going to give you an overview why MFDS started working on regulating medical devices with digital health technologies, and then when the dedicated division was launched and what we have achieved to date, and finally what are the challenges we are having these days. Transformations of medical ecosystem brought attention to the medical devices with digital health technology globally, and it was initiated by the long-term pandemic period, and many of Koreans have been interested in AI-based medical devices, digital therapeutics, and telemedicine. Digital health market have been rapidly growing, and it is projected to grow at compound annual growth rate of 30% by 2026 globally, and in particular, mobile health and telemedicine is expected to increase their market share by 80%. Well, with this, relevant policies have been announcing by the major developed countries. One of the representative example is the Federal Act of USA, and there are also another examples from EU and Japan. And these are including the countermeasures for encouraging the industries and management control in the digital health area. MFDS also perceived the change in medical ecosystem, industries, and policies, and has endeavored to keep up with the trend by starting with the launch of Task Force Team for Digital Health since 2020, that eventually promoted to Digital Health Device Division officially in February of 2022. Currently, 11 staff, including director, are working in the division, and we will be having 2 more people in the division by this year, and will increase the size of division gradually as we having more and more work. So at this point, you might want to know what we are doing in the division, and I'm going to brief on this with the following 2 slides. At this point, the division has been focusing on review, some technical document, and regulatory backup for digital healthcare, including mobile healthcare and telemedicine, especially for SAMD. And we are trying to keep a lookout for these 2 primary tasks, as digital health is kind of new area. I drew some diagram to differentiate the concept of medical device and non-medical devices. As I mentioned in the previous slide, we are focusing on reviewing and regulatory backup for SAMD. And for the hardware-based digital healthcare medical devices, they have been covered by another division in the same department at MFDS. Well, there are still some gray zone in this diagram, but we are struggling to come up with more clear criteria for medical devices and non-medical devices and bring them into the public. For your understanding, I summarized what we are doing in the division by dividing 2 parts. If applied product is a SAMD, it will be reviewed by our division, and for hardware-based software medical device, if any of AI, DTX, VR, AR, MMA, telemedicine, or cybersecurity is applicable, it will be also reviewed in cooperation with our divisions. For the regulatory backup part, our division has been working on publication and revision of guidances, collaboration with other government agencies, communication with the public, and provision of training and so forth. This is accomplishment of our division from 2017 to 2023. The most important part is that we recently simplified the change approval of SAMD to negative system, followed by the addition of a definition of SAMD to the amended Medical Device Act in 2018, and the establishment of 90 product to SAMD categorizations in 2020. And in 2017, we developed a guidance for AIMD for the first time in the world, and we have the total of 9 AIMD related guidance so far. For the other technologies in digital health, we have developed 6 for DTX, 3 for cybersecurity, 2 for telemedicine, and 1 for VL-AL and SAMD and MMA guidance, respectively. This table shows the number of approval and clinical trial protocol of AIMD and DTX from 2017 to September of 2023. Since the first domestic AIMD guidance in 2017, a number of AIMD and their clinical trial protocol have been approved. Also for DTX, since the first publication of its guidance in 2019, the number of clinical trials have been increased, and MFDS approved the first DTX for insomnia this year. MFDS has also been making a lot of effort in improving Korean regulations for medical devices and contributing to international harmonizations. Recently, we see lots of potential from LLMs such as ChatGPT, since they have been doing a lot more work than what humans can do in various fields and expanding their applicable areas. In particular, as the capability of LLM to the medical devices intended for diagnosis and patient management have been expanding, different challenges have been raised to tackle the safety management of such product. And the biggest challenge is that the existing verification or quality control method cannot be applied taking into account the infinite input and output of LLM. So we think we need to come up with some new approaches to this. This is a regulatory framework we are thinking based on the total product life cycle of AIMD. We have been exploring safety management of AIMD based on LLM in different aspects while pursuing the least burdensome principle. We are currently having some issues regarding safety management of AIMD that is based on LLM, so we will be working on drafting assessment criteria and verification method from next year, and also preparing safety management system and review procedures as well. Well, that's all I had to update today. Thank you for your attention.